Hello, it's the Degenerate. It's Friday, September 13th, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to record my best bet, a little bit of a breakdown, some analysis, some thoughts. Again, I've been doing this since last week where I've recorded the my best bet for college football. Last week was Army. This week is going to be Central Michigan. And then I'm going to do it for NFL as well. So, what I'll try to do is keep the same schedule where I post the college football best bet on Thursdays and then the NFL one on Fridays. They will always be in the newsletter. You'll always hear me talk about them if you listen to the streams every weekday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the newsletter, you can subscribe for free. Myself, Steak, and Greg, the Degenerate family, we have our best bets in there, a couple other plays. We have 5 NFL plays and 5 college football plays. Very, very tough board. Very tough board. Not looking to get super involved. Nevertheless, my wife is out of town. I'm probably going to get into some degenerate activity, have a couple drinks, have a couple cigarettes, stay in the sports bar for 12 hours. So if you follow me on Action Network or Picket and you see me add some shit, you've been forewarned. Okay. You've been forewarned. But I truly don't like the board that much. So if you're tailing, please do so at your own discretion. And I'm going to tell you what my best bet is. And also, the board review was cut short today. I had some stuff to do early in the morning, and then I had some corp shit at noon that I couldn't move around. So I just talked about the Kansas State game tonight, which I do have a play in. And I didn't really get to touch on, final thoughts on the board. So I figured I would do it in this video. Maybe you'll tune in. You'll listen to all of it. If you like it, great. Give me some feedback. Listen, football season fucking comes and goes. Okay. I live, breathe, eat shit, sleep sports betting, and I love football. It's one of my favorite sports: football, hockey, golf, my favorite sports to bet on. So I'm going to take advantage of it. I'll put out some content as long as I have the time. And if you guys like it, great. Let me know. Like it, comment, engage. I don't know. Figure it out. You can lift a fucking thumb and push a like button. It goes a long way. Anyways, let's get into it. Before I go through the entire board, I'm just going to tell you about my best bet. I'm going to get it out of the way. It's a genuine sigh, okay? Because I'm not looking forward to it. But I do like the bet. It's the New York Giants. The New York Giants on the road in Washington. And you know what's funny? I've never really been a numbers guy. I've never really been a big CLV guy. I've always obviously wanted to get the best number, okay? If a team is -6.5 and they go up to -8 and I like the favorite, yeah, obviously I want them at -6.5, but I'm not a fucking professional, and I've never really made my bets on a Monday or Tuesday. You know what I mean? I'm fucking barely recovering from a hangover. You get older, you get 2-day hangovers, and you finally start to see clearly. I like to think about these plays. I like to, go for runs and sit in the saunas and really sit and think about it and try to envision the game script, put myself on both sides, argue with myself, because sometimes I'll come around to coming to the other side. I'll listen to some friends, and now we'll listen to followers in the board review, people in the Discord, and I'll find myself in the place that I like most up until kickoff, and that's when I typically place my bet. Well, here's the problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is when you start to put yourself out there on social media, you get fucking hounded by the CLV mob and the CLV police. Now, listen, it comes from a good place. I understand. You care about people getting the best number. I don't like getting fucking hooked. If I bet the Detroit Lions -7 and or 7.5, it was 7 and they win by 7 and I lose instead of push. Yeah, you guys are right. So you know what? I'm trying to do a better job of getting the better number. Now, here's the problem. I tried to get cute. Let me tell you why. I'm sorry. I try to make this a short story. I'm really bad at short stories. I fucking ramble. Okay. By the way, cheers. It's Friday evening. I have a nice, delicious, hazy IPA. I don't even know where it's from. Ripe. I got it at the butcher shop. Anyways, I saw the Washington Commanders were -2.5, -115 early in the week. I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for a 3 because that's a better number and it's a key number. I knew the Giants were going to be my best bet on Monday. You know what happens? I go to sleep. I wake up. That number goes from 2.5 to 1.5. Fucking great. So I shopped around. Everybody will tell you, shop around. I shopped around and I found a 2.5 at Fanatics. I bought a 0.5 point. Don't buy 0.5 point. Shut up. Let me do what I want to do with my own money. I bought a 0.5 point and I got it at 3. Okay. I got it at 3. I got 2 units on it. Now, here's the problem. I tried to wait for a better number. I also tried to do this with the fucking Raiders. The Raiders were 9.5. Somebody even on Twitter said, wait for a 10. Yeah, I waited for a 10. Guess what? It's down to 8.5. I'm done getting cute. Done. I want to get a good number. I'm just going to make the bet when I like the bet, whether it's a Monday, whether it's a Saturday. I don't give a fuck. Okay. Can't time the market. That's not my strength. It's not my strong suit. So anyways, got the Giants at a +3. I feel happy about it. Apparently a market influencer released the Giants as an official play. Great. Spoiler alert, that's not me. I'm not a market influencer, although I am known famously for moving a Skylar Thompson rushing prop at Foxwoods or Mohegan Suns. I always get them confused. FanDuel Sportsbook, over 8.5, put $100 in the kiosk. It moved to 9.5, and it did not hit. Anyways, I got the CLV, so practically hit. Let me tell you why I like the New York Giants or the Washington Commanders. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about both teams. Let's talk about the New York Giants. I faded the New York Giants in week 1. Okay, I took the Minnesota Vikings. I like the Minnesota Vikings a lot. Not overall in the season, but just in that spot. Okay, and also I'll simplify it. If you saw the jerseys the New York Giants were wearing and you thought they were going to win a game in those jerseys, sometimes it's that easy. They were never winning that game. But I like the Minnesota Vikings. I thought them being favored on the road was a lot of respect. I mean, what's their win total on the year? It was like 6.5. What's the Giants? 5.5? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Maybe it opened to pick them. There was some money coming in on the Vikings. I don't care. It was all football brain. I like Darnold in that system, and I really don't trust the New York Giants. I don't really like anything about this team. So I went in on the Minnesota Vikings. I watched some of that game, and it kind of played out how I thought it would play out. Granted, I didn't think Sam Darnold was going to start the game like 14-14, but I did think he was going to do well. I didn't take his passing yards. I took Justin Jefferson over receiving yards, and that did not hit. Now, the Vikings built a lead, and they kind of took their foot off the gas and just went run, pass. Aaron Jones was pretty effective. But what I took away from that game was with all that time to prepare and Brian Daboll's record against Brian Flores defenses, he was 6-0 when he was with the Buffalo Bills and Flores was with the Dolphins. I believe, you can quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Daboll was 6-0. I thought he was going to do pretty well. I thought that was going to, continue. Even though I thought the Vikings would win the game, I still thought the Giants would get some success. No, they were the only team not to score a touchdown. Holy fuck. Not only that, the one thing there is to like about this team outside of Malik Neighbors is the defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, which I did see on Pro Football Focus, had like the highest win rate of any defensive lineman in the NFL. That's good. But Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns, guy they paid a lot of money for from Carolina, didn't see him once. Didn't see him do anything. Now, credit to the Vikings offensive line or a little bit of blame for the Giants defense not showing up. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Too small of a sample size. But it was a very, very underwhelming performance for the New York Giants. Kind of feels like Daboll's seat's getting hot. They committed to Daniel Jones. We watched what happened in Hard Knocks. It's going to be a bad year for the New York Giants. Now hold the phone, because the New York Giants have been here before. Last year, 2023, week 1, they lost at home to the Dallas Cowboys 40-0. Another pathetic, embarrassing performance, and another week 1 where they didn't score an offensive touchdown. What did they do in week 2? They go on the road, they play in Arizona, and they win. It was a very gritty win, too. Daniel Jones played a pretty good game against the Arizona Cardinals. They came back, they won that game 31-28. Now, my point of referencing that is to tell you that the New York Giants, with the same quarterback and the same head coach, I know Saquon Barkley is gone and they have new pieces, whatever. But 2 of the main positions on a football team, the coach and the quarterback, have been here before. There's a lot of pressure on this team to perform. I understand that. There was pressure on him last year. Daniel Jones had already started to get those paychecks hitting his bank account. They did enough to get the win. It was a gritty win. They go on the road and they face a familiar foe in the Washington Commanders and a team that I'm not going to call him Daniel Dimes. I can't believe I just said that. Daniel Jones. By the way, if you're not familiar, I have been saying for years that Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. I feel terrible. I feel like it's bullying at this point, kind of like Zach Wilson. Like, he's not a starter. He's just not. He should have never been drafted 6 overall. He had a 17-19 record at Duke. He just looks good. He looks like a quarterback. He's big. He's muscular. He can run. But you know what? I have a client who watches soccer. He's a Watford fan. Shout out Matthew. Client turned friend. I used to go watch soccer with him. I even went to a Watford game because of him. It was awesome. Thank you. Although I think they did get relegated. We won't talk about that. But you know what he told me about soccer? He said it's the top 2 inches. Most of these guys on the playing field are the same size, same shape. Athletically, they're all kind of even. You know, some guys are faster, whatever. But it's top 2 inches. It's decision-making. Same can be implied to a lot of sports, except in his case, we're not really basketball. They call it tall ball because you have such an advantage if you're tall. But you've got to be a good decision maker. Daniel Jones, top 2 inches. Nobody's home. Nobody's home. Anyways, let me tell you about the Commanders, because this is more of a fade of the Washington Commanders than it is a bet on the New York Giants. The Washington Commanders, I am not high on this year, and it really has nothing to do with the coaching staff, okay? As I get older, I really value coaching staffs. I think Dan Quinn will be fine. Maybe he's a better coordinator than coach, but I don't know. I still give him credit for taking the Falcons team to a Super Bowl, despite them losing. Although that might have been all Shanahan. Anyways, that's not what we're going to spend time doing here. Jayden Daniels, rookie quarterback, good player, but he's young, and he is raw as fuck, okay? Jayden Daniels has potential to be a good dual threat quarterback in the NFL, but do I think he is anywhere near being that type of quarterback? No, absolutely not. I know this guy very well. I watched him at Arizona State. I watched him for the 2 years he played at LSU, had him to win the Heisman. He is not a great passer. He's not a great passer, and he's not a confident passer. I have told you, I've been talking about this. It's my Taj Bradley K's of the season, his rushing yards. I took an alt over rushing yards in week 1, plus 310 over 60. It might have been the easiest 310 bet I've ever hit. I think he had it in the first half. If not, he had like 59 yards. He got over the highest alt offered, by the way. It was 80 at like plus 800. Can't believe I didn't take that. I'm a little soft in my old age. Maybe it was plus 600. But anyways, I digress. Jayden Daniels is going to be running a lot because he's not a good passer and he's not a confident passer. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. This Washington Commanders roster is not very good. He's got Terry McLaurin. He's got Austin Eckler. But it's really not much of a threat. And they weren't a threat in Tampa. Granted, they scored 20 points. But that's not really what this is about. It's about what Baker Mayfield was able to do. Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdown passes. He had an 81% completion percentage. This Washington Commanders secondary is abysmal. It might be the worst in the NFL. It might. Or we're overreacting because it's week 1 and that's what we do. We overreact. But I'll tell you what. I have more faith in Brian Daboll and Daniel Jones. I don't care how fucking bad they are. I don't care that they targeted Wan'Dale Robinson 11 times and they've got nobody outside of Malik Neighbors worth a shit, although Devin Singletary is a nice player. I have more faith in this team winning on the road than I do Jayden Daniels in his home opener against a divisional opponent. Sorry. I just don't see it. The Washington Commanders are going to be on my fade list early in the season. I will be betting on Jayden Daniels over rushing yards continuously. However, I'm going to pump the brakes because Dan Quinn already came out and said he doesn't want Jayden Daniels to rush as much. Now, that's a great strategy if you want to keep your quarterback healthy, which is important. It's not a great strategy if you want to win games, because that is the biggest threat right now. That's going to be the best way your offense moves the ball, gets yards, and potentially scores points. If he doesn't want him to do that, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, okay? He's going to turn the ball over. He's going to turn the ball over. On that note, I'll likely be sprinkling the Giants defense to score a touchdown. I don't know what it is. Follow me on Action Network. I'll likely add it, or on Pickett. And use my promo code if you sign up on Pickett, by the way. Oh, speaking of, I'm so bad at being corp. Underdog, promo code DGen, 50% deposit match. SeatGeek, promo code DGen, $20 off your first purchase. Anyways, it's been 13 minutes. That's my bet. That's my pitch. Now, if you want to tail, you do so at your own discretion. Listen, if I place a bet, I'm prepared for it to lose. I'm already mentally prepared for Daniel Jones to go out there and throw 3 interceptions. Daniel Jones, not Jayden Daniels. I forget who I said. I'm prepared for the Giants to suck ass and lose this game 24-10. I'm prepared. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm prepared. If you tail and you bitch and moan and cry in my DMs, that means you were not prepared. You got to be better than that. We're betting on Daniel Jones and the disgusting dog shit New York Giants. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the rest of the board because fuck it. Why not? Let's top it off. Top me off, you bastard. All right. Again, if you like this shit, let me know. Comment, feedback, like the tweet. Salud. I'm going to tell you what I think about the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to tell you what I think about the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay. And I'm going to make these thoughts quick. How about this? Rapid fire. I think that I watched the Los Angeles Chargers and Raiders game because I'm betting on the Raiders this week. And I wanted to get a better feel for the team and how that game played out. The Las Vegas Raiders had 2 turnovers and a missed field goal in the first half, and we're still winning the game 7-6. It was a game until the fourth quarter when that running attack finally wore down the Raiders defense. J.K. Dobbins had like 120 yards rushing. Outside of that, the Chargers didn't do much. I was not impressed. I really was not impressed. Khalil Mack was great. Bosa was pretty good. They were disruptive. Gardner Minshew is not very good. But to beat the Raiders, I mean, you're favored to beat the Raiders and to have to come back late in that game and beat the Raiders. I don't trust this team laying points on the road. No. Jim Harbaugh is going to be a good coach. He is a good coach, okay? He's not really a rookie head coach. He's been here before. I think he's going to be great. I don't think it's necessarily year one. Now, you're probably going to say, well, you must be taking the Panthers with the points, right? Fuck no. Fuck no. If you want to take that, which a lot of sharps do, I think the Panthers are already, 6.5 down to 5.5? You see me looking at the other screen, by the way. I'm looking at the board. Oh, my God. No way. Are the Chargers down to 5? Chargers down to 5, 4.5. I mean, you guys are crazy. At this point, it's a buy low. It's a buy low on the fucking Los Angeles Chargers. That's what I'll tell you. I'm not getting involved with this game. I think that the Carolina Panthers are on the right path to be a good team. I like Dave Canales. I think it was a good hire. He ain't a fucking miracle worker. Sorry to tell you. As nice as the Bucs were last season, making it to the playoffs, winning a playoff game against the Eagles, they still, I believe, were 1-7 against teams with an over 500 record. I'm not getting that high on this Canales and Bryce Young fit just yet. And we went out there and we saw what happened in week 1. It wasn't good. Now, I'm not going to overreact and say Bryce Young needs to be benched and the Panthers are going 0-17. If you are going to take the Panthers with the points, I understand it. My reasoning would be the Chargers don't deserve to be laying that many points on the road. However, I think the Chargers will eventually run away with this game. So I caution you, and I wish you the best if that is how you choose to spend your money on this hopefully lovely Sunday. Okay, let's talk about the Bucs and the Lions real quick. Listen, I talked about it during the week. If you tune into the board reviews, I think that it was a very big relief for the Detroit Lions to get that win against the Los Angeles Rams. You know, it was a big revenge spot for the Rams, losing in the playoffs last year in Detroit. However, even more than that, it was very emotional. Stafford's return to Detroit. I think the Lions could not fucking wait to get out of there with a win. And it was evident. Now, granted, I didn't watch most of the game because I'm old and I went to bed. But I heard the recaps. I watched some of the clips. And I was told that the Lions were playing not to lose rather than playing to win. They took their foot off the gas and they got pretty conservative. Makes all the sense in the world to me. Now, I didn't have a play in the game. I did like the Lions. I like the Lions team total over. The team total did not hit, and the game did not go over. Overbettors got burned in that game. Okay? 46 total points in overtime. The Lions got to be so relieved. And you know what I think now? I think they're ready to fucking go out there and get loose and have some fun playing football. Another, not revenge, but another familiar foe who they played in the playoffs last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am a Buccaneers fan. Like what I saw in week 1. How could you not? I'm a big Baker guy all of a sudden, all right? I was out on Baker last year. I wanted us to lose and tank and draft a quarterback. But you know what? I came around. I'm liking Baker. And you know what? I think Baker likes Tampa. Baker's a Tampa guy. Love it. You know what I keep seeing more and more? The team loves him. Players love him. City loves him. I'm all in. You know what the problem is? So are all the sports bettors now after he just torched the Washington Commanders secondary. Pump the brakes. Pump them. Pump them like Joe Budden says, except don't pump them up. Pump them down. Pump the brakes. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible Washington Commanders team. This is going to be much different. I think the Detroit Lions offense is going to do whatever they want against this defense in the secondary that is down, I believe, 3 cornerbacks. The number went from 7 to 7.5. I hate that. I'm going to be on the Lions, and I have not punched my bet in because I've been waiting. But I'll probably buy it back down to 7. All right? Spare me the criticism. Let me do whatever the fuck I want, and you do whatever you want with your money. I like the Bucks. I'm sorry. I like the Lions. I like the Lions offense. And if I'm looking for a weekly special, I love these weekly special bets. It would be Jared Goff to lead. How do I word it? Most passing yards on Sunday. Don't know what the number is. FanDuel doesn't offer the market until Sunday or until Saturday. Jets Titans. Listen, I think it's a trap. It feels like a trap. However, you may or may not already know I am so down on Will Levis. I think Will Levis fucking stinks. Out loud, too. Out loud. And I'm a big mayo guy. I love mayonnaise. I think people that don't like mayonnaise, truthfully, are a little weird. Okay. I'm not going to judge you. We can still be friends. We can still have a beer together. But if you're not a mayo guy, I think you're a little bit strange. I don't know that I would trust you with, maybe some of my possessions that I care of, or I wouldn't let you, stay at my house while I'm out of town for the weekend. Nevertheless, this guy puts mayonnaise in his coffee. I'm out. I'm so out. I like coffee. I like mayo. The shit doesn't go together. I'm sorry. You're just trying to be weird to be weird. Now he eats bananas with peels on them. I don't know. Strange guy. But anyways, I'll give you a chance. Show it to me. I didn't see it. Once. I didn't see it once at Kentucky. No, I watched him play Florida. They beat Florida. He had one nice long ball. The receiver made a great catch. No, out. Never been in on Will Levis. If you bet on Will Levis in week 1, you probably didn't learn your lesson because you're bitching about the Bears. Oh, the Bears didn't do anything on offense. Only 150 yards. They didn't score a touchdown. I should have won my bet. Yet you're failing to acknowledge that Will Levis had 3 turnovers, one of which was one of the worst pick sixes you'll ever see. And yeah, they had a punt return for a touchdown, whatever. It's a fucking 40-year-old head coach making his debut on the road. Now they come home. They have their home opener against the New York Jets in a bounce-back spot for the Jets. It's a very obvious bounce-back spot. I don't like it. Something feels weird about this game. I'm getting weird fucking vibes. You know what I mean? Weird vibes. Like the under. I like the Titans team total under. That's how I chose to fade the Titans last week. I took the Titans under 19 and a half, 20 and a half. They scored 17 points early and they never scored again because they stink. So I'll probably do it again. I think the Jets should bounce back. I don't know how I feel about their offense though. I mean, I hate to say it. I have the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I'm already ripping that ticket up. Aaron Rodgers looked old. They don't really have any weapons on offense. Alan Lazard, I mean, he's so determined to show like he brought all his buddies over to fucking New York last year. And yeah, he got hurt. It's not his fault, but like everybody he brought over sucks. Like Nathaniel Hackett, Alan Lazard, who was the other guy? Randall Cobb. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. They got no weapons outside of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. So we'll see if Mike Williams can ever play football. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Hope the guy's okay. Anyways, I can't get there with the Jets on the road. Let's talk about the Patriots and the Seahawks. Listen, Seahawks are I'm not in on the Seahawks yet, but I think the Seahawks are going to be a problem late in the year. Hold on, beer break. It's good beer. I like a hazy IPA. The problem is I would love to keep drinking them, but after 2, it's like, no, I shouldn't do this anymore. I shouldn't do this anymore. And then if you do it and you drink your 3rd, the next day sucks. Your head hurts. You know what I mean? Hurts. I'm only a third of the way through the beer. It's 4:52 and I already want a cigarette. Anyways, I digress. The Seattle Seahawks, that was a terrible, terrible first half of football. They had 2 safeties. They're barely beating the Denver Broncos. They looked lethargic. They looked like they didn't practice all week. They looked like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I heard people during this week on Sports Talk Radio say that Mike Macdonald, former defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, now the new coach of the Seattle Seahawks, had a sensational debut. That's what I heard people say. Seriously. I'm not going to name names. I don't know. You beat the Broncos by 6 points. You beat Bo Nix by 6 points. How is that a sensational debut? I thought it was pathetic. Defense was okay. They forced some turnovers. Okay. It's a rookie QB in the fucking most difficult environment to play in the NFL. Spare me. The offensive play calling was terrible. They ran a running play from shotgun on their own 1-yard line. Now, I understand this offensive coordinator came from the University of Washington. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a pass, but it's going to take him some time, in my opinion. He already showed that he's going to make some mistakes. I don't trust the Seahawks team on the road in their first game with this new coaching staff. However, I'm not buying the Patriots off of their highest high they might experience all season. Winning outright as the biggest underdog on the board, now making their home opener. No, too emotional, too big of a win. I can't get there with the Patriots. But if I am going to play this game, I'm going to fade the Seahawks. I'm going to fade them early. Give me the first quarter under, or I'll take the first quarter with the Patriots, maybe plus a half or a first half. I'm going to get cute. Call me Betty Boop. Probably get burned doing it. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Faded the Browns last week, faded the Browns on the season, 2 units not to make the playoffs. Cowboys came through. Deshaun Watson stinks. There's a lot of bad news for the Browns, but I'll tell you what, I can't get there with the Jags for whatever reason. I like the Jags. I'm tailing stake on the Jags. I got the Jags to win the AFC South. They should have beat the Dolphins. Doug Peterson, man. I'm not a Kevin Stefanski guy. I'm really not even a Doug Peterson guy. I have Trevor Lawrence to lead the league in passing. I mean, it's, I'm not ripping up that ticket necessarily, but I can't get there with a 3. Gun to my head. Jags -3, but I'm out. Niners and the Minnesota Vikings. I have 0 thoughts on this game. Sam Darnold revenge game. I don't necessarily like the Vikings. Niners went into Minnesota last year and lost. I don't know that they're necessarily going to go and do it again. However, maybe they do. Maybe they just can't figure it out in Minnesota. Sometimes this shit happens. Like certain teams can't win in certain places. Certain players own certain, teams, whatever. Niners are -5, totals 46.5. I'm out. But I do like Sam Darnold in this Kevin O'Connell offense with Justin Jefferson. The one thing to point out, though, that offense did nothing after Jordan Addison got hurt. I was almost even a little bit nervous, but then I was like, wait, what am I nervous about? It's Daniel fucking Jones. Hope he has a good game this week, though. Here's a good game. Here's an interesting game, a very intriguing game. The Indianapolis Colts and the Green Bay Packers. From what I have gathered and from what I understand, sharps are putting money on the Green Bay Packers at home getting points. Without context and just telling you that, sounds like a good idea. But then you find out that Malik Willis is playing quarterback. And that's where I stop. I say, listen, what I'm hearing is that the Colts defense is banged up. What I'm also hearing is that the Colts defense didn't look very good in week 1 and the Texans got whatever they wanted. Well, that's the Texans. I don't care that the Texans got whatever they wanted against the Colts defense. That means nothing to me when you look at this next week matchup and then you're telling me it's Malik Willis against the Colts defense. Nothing about that is like a transition or a factor into my handicapping in this game. I liked some things about the Colts last week offensively, and there was also a lot that I didn't like. I think Chernoff or somebody said it. They were very boomer bust. They were. Very fortunate to cover that game. We were super lucky to cover that game. In this spot, it's Colts or nothing for me. I think the Green Bay Packers at home getting points. It's fine if you want to take it. Totals at 40. Malik Willis has shown me nothing. I do not think he's worth a shit, and I don't think this offense can go toe-to-toe with the Indianapolis Colts offense. And my favorite player prop is in this game, Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, the Wisconsin Badger, is coming back home. I don't know if he's from there, like hometown, but he played college there. I like Jonathan Taylor. Give me his over rushing yards, and fuck it, I'll take the alt line too. Over 120, I don't know what it is, all right? I'll check it out on DraftKings. Okay, let's see. Raiders. The Raiders. I don't know if this line is 9.5. I don't know if it's 8.5. I told you I waited for a 10. I didn't get a 10. Mr. CLV, that's not me. Total 41.5. I like the Raiders. I'm not overreacting to the Raiders just yet. I talked about it when I talked about the Chargers. They really hung in that game despite having 2 turnovers and a missed field goal. I thought that was kind of impressive. The defense wore down. The defensive line was, what's that word? Stifled, one of those. Anyways, the Chargers offensive line did a great job shutting down Max Crosby. I don't think I'm overreacting. Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, former Irish, and I'm a Notre Dame fan. That's all they do. Notre Dame produces fucking badass offensive linemen. Remember when Quentin Nelson was good? I don't know what happened to him, his fall from grace. But that's okay. I think they bounce back defensively against the Baltimore Ravens, who have 3 new starters on the offensive line, and we did see they already had some issues on primetime against the Chiefs. Now, you're going to tell me that the Baltimore Ravens it's their home opener. They've had some extra rest playing on last Thursday and also almost beating, well, maybe a toe away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, sure. Not there. Gardner Minshew, we know it might be a popular narrative already. He went in and beat the Baltimore Ravens last year with the Colts as an underdog. Give me the Raiders. Official play. It's in the newsletter. New Orleans and Dallas. Listen, I'm not going to spend too much time on the games that we've already given our thoughts on. I'm going to be on this under. Rams and Cardinals. Cardinals are Greg's best bet. Pittsburgh and Denver. I got no thoughts on that game. Bengals and Chiefs. Bengals are Steak's best bet. I fucking hate it. To be honest with you, I hate it. But I'm going to put myself in an uncomfortable position. And last game on the board, the Chicago Bears against Houston Texans. I got to tell you, I talked about it last week. I said I'm done fading the Houston Texans when I had the Colts. The Colts came through. I feel very fortunate to get that. And I said, I'm not fading the Houston Texans. Here I am, week 2 already. I want to fade the Houston Texans. I kind of want to buy into an overreaction for the Chicago Bears. That's what I want to do. I think Caleb Williams is going to be fun. I think this offense is going to be fine. I saw Keenan Allen's already limping around, but I mean, what else is new? Fucking water's wet. This guy can't stay healthy. But I think that the Chicago Bears defense might be legit. I think they might be legit. I don't know that the Colts defense is that legit, but I'll tell you this. The one thing I did notice about the Houston Texans, the Colts at least they forced them into making plays. It wasn't necessarily easy, but the Texans just made every play. And not to mention the Colts had 2 interceptions that were called back because of penalty. Bullshit. But anyways, I think there might be something there with the Bears keeping this close, lingering, or I like the under. All right. Those are my thoughts on the board. Again, I only really did this and ran through all the games because I didn't give my final thoughts on the board review today because it was cut short. I hope you liked it. If you did, great. Let me know. Give me some feedback. If you want more of these, I'll do more of them. Again, as long as I have the time. Like I said, best bet, Giants. I gave you my reasoning, my breakdown. Good luck this weekend. All right. If you tell with caution. And if you fade, have fun. One of us is going to win. May the best man win. All right. Be sure to tune in tomorrow on Twitter. I'm playing BK in golf, 9 or 10 a.m. I don't know. I got to wake up so early and drive out to Long Island. Have your notifications on. All right. Should be fun. Good luck this weekend. I hope you win more bets than you lose. And I will see you Sunday morning for Prop Talk, 10 a.m.